It's a hot summer day, so you decide to cool off at the beach. But when you get there, you find out the beach is closed due to an algae bloom. You wonder, what are algae blooms? How are they caused? And why do they impact our lives? To properly understand algae blooms, we first have to understand the process of eutrophication. The term eutrophication comes from the Greek word eutrophos, meaning well-nourished. Eutrophication is the accumulation of nutrients, particularly nitrogen and phosphorus, in freshwater and coastal regions. This can happen naturally or through recent human actions, when nutrients come from sewage, septic systems, agriculture, or industrial wastewater. Once all these nutrients accumulate in a body of water, what happens next? One impact is algae blooms, like the one that ruined your beach day. An algae bloom happens when a high amount of nutrients causes a rapid growth of algae, aquatic photosynthetic organisms like seaweed and cyanobacteria. Cyanobacteria, also known as blue-green algae, are a type of bacteria that are very common in freshwater and coastal regions and produce toxins that can be harmful to humans, pets, and other animals. Cyanotoxins include potent neurotoxins, hepatotoxins, and cytotoxins. For humans, exposure to cyanotoxins can result in gastrointestinal issues, hay fever symptoms, and skin rashes. Recent research suggests that high exposure to cyanotoxins can also be linked to neurodegenerative diseases such as ALS, Parkinson's, and Alzheimer's. Algae come in a variety of forms and colors, and not all types of algae are harmful to people. For this reason, it's important to consult your local recreation or environmental offices to know if the algae in a certain body of water are safe to interact with. Check out the links in our description for more resources on how to identify harmful algal blooms. Algae blooms can also adversely affect aquatic ecosystems by blocking out sunlight and depleting dissolved oxygen. Once the algae die, they are decomposed by microbes in the sediment. This decomposition draws oxygen from the water, creating hypoxic and sometimes even anoxic conditions. Lack of oxygen can kill the organisms that live in these ecosystems. More mobile animals, like adult fish, may be able to move to waters with more oxygen, but less mobile or immobile animals, like juvenile fish, mussels, or crabs, cannot escape low oxygen conditions and are more likely to die during hypoxic or anoxic events. Eutrophication, algae blooms, and hypoxic events can happen across the globe, and they tend to be concentrated in regions that are downstream of intensive agriculture. Given the devastation that eutrophication and algae blooms can have on our environment, health, and economy, it is important that we try to minimize their likelihood in any way we can. While it is difficult to control natural processes, we can control human activity. There are many ways this is already being done, and in some cases, these processes can be improved upon. For example, sewage treatment plants use a range of processes to remove nitrogen and phosphorus from sewage in order to bring these nutrients down to acceptable levels before returning treated water back to the ecosystem. Similarly, wastewater from food, petroleum, pharmaceuticals, paper, and textile industries must be treated in order to remove excess nitrogen and phosphorus. Individuals and businesses with septic systems should ensure proper installment, monitoring, and maintenance of their septic tanks. Gardeners, homeowners, farms, and golf courses can reduce their nutrient runoff by applying fertilizers only in the amounts on the instructions, at the right time of year, with the right method and placement. Farms can also implement year-round ground cover to prevent soil erosion and plant field buffers to help catch runoff and absorb nutrients before they enter a body of water. There are also some practices and technologies that can be used to absorb excess nutrients from the water. For instance, shellfish and seaweed farming have been used as ways to sequester nitrogen and phosphorus. There are also a number of geoengineering techniques being used to chemically inactivate phosphorus in the water column or block its release from the sediment. Help us spread the word about the causes and impacts of algae blooms by liking and sharing this video. See you at the beach!